Hey everybody, it's me, Rodger with the records. How are y'all doing? Hanging in there? Cheers everybody. Having something a little different. I think this might be my new favorite beer. What is it? Dead Guy Ale. Dead Guy Ale. Rogue. Gratefully dedicated to the rogue in each of us. There's a Deadhead connection here someplace. Where is this out of? This is out of Newport, Oregon. Established in 1988. Dare, Risk, Dream. That's a pretty cool graphic. And I don't mind the can. You know, cans will keep beer fresher and more carbonated. Yeah, Dead Guy Ale. I gotta be careful with that stuff because it's like almost 7% alcohol, and you know, gotta be careful. Be careful out there, folks. Drink responsibly. Did you hear that report that no amount of alcohol is safe? And the article ended with like, well, no amount of driving is safe either, but we're not recommending people stop driving. You know, so. And who wants to live to be forever? Not me. All right. You're here for records, not for my ranting, right? Right, okay. Kind of overdue. These are some records I, picked up over the last month and a half, 2 months anyway. Yes, the John Coltrane, Both Directions at Once, the Lost album, on Impulse Universal, 2 LPs. This is the deluxe edition with the die cut everything. This is, a lost John Coltrane record. It's obviously, it's news. Definitely worth having. It's not surprising that this didn't get released at the time because he was doing things live. He was moving so quickly in this period. You know, the classic quartet, McCoy Tyner and Jimmy Garrison and Elvin Jones. The music was changing really quickly, and so a lot of this material. There were much more incendiary versions that would come out later. There are a couple of originals that, are unheard of before. Come on. John Coltrane. This is a second press. I missed out on the first pressing. I got the CD, and the CD sounds really good, let me tell you. It sounds really good. But, come on. I had to. My vinyl fetishism. And here's another example too. I remember the last one these guys put out, I said, I want originals, but no, I got this, and the Alice Coltrane Lord of Lords reissue on Superior Viaduct. Originally came out in like 1972. I believe it's maybe her last Impulse record. I'm not sure about that. This is great. It has lots of strings, and it's moving in that more devotional sort of thing. And Superior Viaduct, they do about as good a job as you can expect in this day and age. It's not gonna be from the original analog masters, I'm almost certain, but possibly from a high resolution transfer that was done by somebody at some point. That's really kind of what annoys me about the state of current vinyl. This sounds fine, the pressing's fine, but it's all sort of mysterious. They don't say. Anyway, whatever. Didn't realize this had been repressed, so I picked it up. This is Kendrick Lamar's "Good Kid, Mad City." What can I say? This originally came out in 2012. Prior to Pimp a Butterfly. Now, what's interesting about this, I can't really speak to hip hop very much, but what's interesting about this to me, listening to it, is that this being prior to Pimp a Butterfly, this record is made all in the box, all in a computer, like all samples and beats and sequences, and the only thing that needs a microphone is his voice, and it's really interesting how layered and interesting it can be, but it's also like I don't know. That's one reason why, to me, To Pimp a Butterfly has such a breath of fresh air, because it has so many live musicians and like live drums and live, you know, stuff going on, as well as, you know, being created in the box. I've got nothing against, you know, computers and that stuff, and I think it's fascinating how this is. I listen to this and I go like, oh, it's interesting how this is put together. I can't speak to the social commentary and whatever, you know. I take him at his word. You know, I have a small hip hop collection, and I think he's freaking won the Pulitzer Prize, so he's important, right? Right. All right. Okay, so now here's another genre where I kind of, you know, and this is my museum, hip hop, not, but country music, and okay, Americana. There's this Americana festival happening in Nashville next week. That, you know, it's like, oh, stay away from Nashville next week. I'm terrible. Now, okay, Gillian Welch. Here's another in these special reissues of her catalog. Gillian Welch, Soul Journey. Originally came out in 2003. This is a new, all analog, cut on their fancy lathe, on their own label. If you liked that Baroness, I mean, I'm sorry, the other record with the, this sounds just as, and it really does sound great. I mean, really, it's, you know, part of my vinyl rant is like, well, what are you getting for all that money? And what are you getting, you know, is it really worth my money and my bother, and to like clean it up and try to play it on a decent turn? Is it worth it? Oftentimes I have to say no, it's not really. I mean, like a $30 Billy Joel's Greatest Hits, that is not worth it, okay? But so this $30 Gillian Welch record sounds freaking great. Now, I am not a big country music fan, and partly because it is, you know, I was born in Texas, okay? Anyway. So, you know, I see cowboy hats and I go, unless you're actually out in fields, freaking cows, you look like a fool. Now, I've made comments in the past about some artists, and I guess I'm not even going to name, but you know, I talked about the faux authenticity that rubbed me the wrong way about it. I think I pissed a lot of people off because they're like hipster darlings. Now, Gillian Welch, you know, I think she can pull off that freaking cowboy hat because I think there's some authentic authenticity going on here. You know, and when these songs, they sound like they could have been written back in the 20s or something. And her voice has a definite, like, it's an affect for sure, but it's you know, it's that, you know, high lonesome. Anyway, for what it is, it's terrific. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. I probably hit the dislike button. You know, I wear them as a badge of honor. Those dislikes. Okay. Oh wait, things are out of order here. One more new record which I had to go online to get. I said I was going to get it, so I got it. It's the last experimental German rock and electronic music, 1971 to 1983. Record 2, Record B, Volume 2, Record B. Yes, now I have all of them, and what a terrific series. I mean, gosh, I've been really digging. Now that I have them all, I went and played them all through a couple times, and just, you know, it really slakes that thirst for wanting originals, you know, that, you know, particularly, plus I learned a lot about, like, really obscure stuff I wasn't even really familiar with. Great, really great. You know, they'll probably repress these, and good, get them if you don't already have them. Okay, that's it for new vinyl. I'm gonna say it, I'm kind of on a vinyl diet, but again, this is from weeks, probably a month of. Anyway, so these are almost new, almost like new, but I found them gently used for a great price, and I was really excited because it's the Camberwell Now reissues on Light in the Attic, or really it's not, is it Light in the Attic? Yeah, I guess it is Light in the Attic. So this one, which collects their EPs and then their album, The Ghost Trade, I was really psyched to find these, and again, I'm going to have to shout out to Andreas Sonic Mainliner, because these are more records that I remember him showing and really raving about them, and talking about how he lived at that time. I know he's moved, but anyway, how like Camberwell was like a neighborhood near him, and so it had like actual geographic significance, this Camberwell Now thing. So anyway, who is this band? And hey, Andreas, if you're watching, who are they? It's kind of an offshoot of this Heat. Charles Hayward is on this stuff, and wow, hard to describe what's going on with these. Not quite this Heat, but in that general sort of like art rock from the early mid '80s. Very kind of British, very. I don't know. I don't know. I'll dig up Sonic Mainliner's video and point you to that, because he really talked intelligently about them, and I can't really do that. But I am psyched to find them, complete with their Obi strips and everything. I could see this being like maybe not everyone's cup of tea, and so they thought, well, I'm never going to listen to these again, so I'll sell them. And whereas I will listen to these over and over again, because they're interesting, really interesting. Okay, this is kind of a cool find. Reuter. The name of the album is San. So there's Reuter. Obviously a Japanese pressing with an OB and everything on, what is this label? Is it even going to tell me? Americana Records Incorporated? Which sounds weird, but... So the story with this is, this originally came out on cassette only on, like, Reuter's own label in, like, 1986, I believe. I wish I could read Japanese. Something like that. And then this was the first vinyl pressing, this Japanese issue. And then I think there was a Cook issue of it as well later that's like remastered. So this is the original first vinyl pressing of this record. And it's a really great Reuter record. Now, he can be a little bit bland, a little bit like, new age, like that stereotypical new age, but this has a lot more like bubbling synthesizer sequences, and it's placid and everything like that, but really beautiful textures and some nice rhythmic pulses and stuff. A really, really nice record. Really, really psyched to find that for like next to not like $5 or $6. I was like, good deal. Okay, and one of my locals, had a sale, and so this had been sitting there for a while, and I was like, well, I'll take 20% off of it and check it out. Edwin Starr, Free to Be Myself, on Granite Records from 1975. It almost has like a sort of private press look about it, but it's not. Edwin Starr, the guy who wrote War, good God, yo, what is it good for? So he's like one of these shouty soul singer guys, and I gotta admit, this record's a little bit hit or miss for me. It's got some real made my wife laugh with the misogyny and the like, do what I say woman kind of thing. But there were a couple tracks on here that were super funky, and like I think maybe it was Abyssinia Jones. It's super funky with like wah wah, and there's another track on the second side I think that was like pretty freaking great. Records like this, I think of the Dr. Rhythm channel. They show great soul records and have inspired me to kick up my soul record game, because I love soul music. I do. I just, like when we moved from Texas to Connecticut, just outside of New York, and I started tuning in to the AM stations like out of New York City, and like I love the R&B stations out of New York. I just love that stuff. And well, here I am. All right, so got this for 20% off too. It's a compilation, the Lee Morgan Memorial album on Blue Note from 1974. Really nice shape. I've said before, if I see Blue Notes in decent shape for not a lot of money, I'm gonna pick them up. And this is great. I mean, Lee Morgan, kind of sad story. I really need to watch that documentary. I called him Morgan, I think it's called. I really need to watch that. Tragic story, died all too young. he's one of those trumpet players that I like. You know, I'm really not a big fan of the trumpet generally. Miles Davis, big exception. But so much of the time, like, I hear the trumpet and it's like, da 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 da, you know, like, no. But this guy, he had a really nice warm tone, real tasteful. No, he wasn't a blaster, although he could blast when he had to. But yeah, this is great stuff, and it's got classic tracks like the Sidewinder. Yeah, great. Another shout out for Sonic Mainliner. Another record he showed some time ago. It was some like a collection of early stuff from this band, and he played it in the background. I was like, oh man, that sounds great, sounds right up my alley, really. And then I'm like, yeah, I could not find it locally, and I went online. It was like this UK only thing, and I didn't jump, you know. But I always thought, God, that really sounded good. So when I saw this in the bins, Witchfind, Stage Fright, their second album, UK pressing, original UK pressing on Rondelette. Yeah, I jumped all over this. And when is this from? Oh, 81, I think. Now, Witchfind, they get lumped into like the new age of British heavy metal or whatever, new wave of British heavy metal, but they really aren't. You know, they don't sound anything like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden, and they're just more like kind of a hard rock band, but with like a little bit of like a satanic kind of like, you know, sort of, what if Led Zeppelin really were like, you know, worshiping the devil, like that kind of, you know, but kind of tongue-in-cheek, but like I really dig the sound of this so much. It's like, it's got kind of a groove, but without being like bombastically like blues boogie based, like, and kind of interesting song structures inside. Yeah, Witchfind with a Y, Witchfind in a weird font. Witchfind with a Y in DE and a weird font. Yes, excellent, excellent. And I got this at Hound Dog Hoover's tent sale for like $4. I couldn't leave it behind. A Quiet Night in A Quiet Night In. Can you see that cover? So speaking of new wave of British heavy metal, which I'm really not into, but on the whole, this is another record from 1981. I think that one was from 1981. So this is a compilation on Bronze with like Motorhead, Hawkwind, Uriah Heep, Girl School, Angel Witch, yeah, a bunch of Motorhead live tracks. You know, it's got like 16 tracks, so they've like really like packed it on to each side. It's like over an hour long, so it's like really compressed and undynamic and kind of noisy, and you got to turn it up loud. But it's okay because it's like this sort of like, you know, proto new wave of British heavy metal stuff. Yeah, it's a fun record. It's fun. I bought it for a few bucks. What can I say? All right, I need to start wrapping this up. My dental issues continue apace. So even though I'm on a diet, I probably will go to record stores as a reward as they continue to batter me with their utensils. So I found this the other day after a dentist appointment. George Russell Sextet featuring Don Ellis and Eric Dolphy. This is on Riverside from 1960. I'm not sure, 1968, something like that. It's a compilation of some of his other stuff on Riverside, and featuring the great Eric Dolphy. And yeah, George Russell. Yeah, I could tell stories about George Russell, but not today. All right, just a couple more. FM, Black Noise, their first album. Now, originals of this that were recorded and put out by the Canadian Broadcasting System are worth a small fortune because they only put out like 50, 500, something like that. And then they were picked up by Visa in the U.S. In 1978. So yeah, FM, Canadian prog rock band. Not too far away from like the Klaatu, sort of like kind of the poppier end of prog, but also some great kind of synthesizer work. And yeah, I like this a lot. You know, it's not anything super special, but I have their other records, so why not? one after that at least. Okay, and a Spirit record I didn't have. This probably is like the last of the, you know, their real original run. The Adventures of Captain Copter and Commander Cassidy in Potato Land. This is on Rhino from 1981. So yeah, Spirit reduced at this point to just Cassidy and Randy California, and it's here. I might as well show it to you. What the hell? We're already 20 minutes in. Here's that awful sound, but I gotta show you because it's complete with a ridiculous comic book, which makes it kind of special. I like when my rock records come with a comic book. Kind of what makes it all worthwhile. Has the lyrics and stuff, and you know, it supposedly tells the story of Potato Land. And, oh, and hey, look, there's a even like a sheet. I can mail order some official Potato Land membership cards. Do you think if I sent in $7, I could get the whole schmear? I doubt it. Anyway, it's fun. It's, you know, not their best record by any stretch of the imagination, but I do intend to collect them all. I think there's only one Son of Spirit that I'm missing, I believe. That is in a compilation. Not sure about that. Alright, kids. That's another episode of Rodger with the Records. I appreciate you hanging out with me, leaving your comments, your likes, your dislikes. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. Hit the bell. All that stuff. It's the YouTube thing. Yeah. Cheers. I have some theme-based videos that I want to make while I'm on my diet. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, take care, everybody. Bye.